All right, all family. I want to show you what's going on with your baby boy Hank. You got some eye boogies. Come here. Eye boogies, and I'll move the toy screen down. So Hank been doing great lately. Very happy with Hank. Um, he is definitely what Tyner said. He's an alpha dog. So he thinks he's tough stuff. He thinks he's hot stuff. Um, Not had anything serious, but definitely he is no coward when it comes to working with the other dogs. He doesn't go looking for problems, but the other young intact males, hey, um, sit, you sit. Um, they scrap a little bit, but nothing serious. Again, we watch him very closely, make sure nothing ever gets out of hand. But he's definitely not a coward, which I think you already knew that. But anyway, what we're working on with Hank is these last 2 weeks, what I've been seeing out of him is we've been doing the fun retrieving outside, like I showed you in the first video. And now what we're trying to do is we're trying to transition into some more formal obedience. I think Hank has all the natural ability in the world. In fact, I think he's going to be, maybe even end up being the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that, hey, Hank, is I have seen him point as well as retrieve. I have seen him point hard and stylish, like a short hair. Um, he was pointing the cat, but it was a point. I mean, it was one leg up, the tail was up above the spine. It was very stylish. Hey, hey, sit. So I want to show you what we're working on with Hank to help take that natural ability, and we got to make sure we got it under control, make sure we got it polished. Now, I am certain you have done a fair amount of obedience with him already, because what I have seen is a dog who knows some things, but he definitely, that alpha is going to be something that I will consider the whole time we're doing this, because he is going to have his own agenda, and I may or may not be on that agenda. So what we got to do is we got to make sure that we help him understand that we give him a command, not a request. I'm not asking him to do things. I'm telling him to do something. So I'm going to make sure of a couple of things when I'm doing this. One, I'm never going to repeat a command to him. I'm never going to say a command in a pleading way. I'm not saying, here, come on, come here, please. We're not going to say that. It's going to be, Hank, here. It's going to be businesslike. It's going to be firm. Doesn't need to be mean. Doesn't need to be angry. It will be, Hank, sit. And it will just be firm and direct. I think Hank is going, because of his temperament and his personality, he's going to respond to that businesslike, authoritarian level of kind of command. So we'll keep that in mind while we're going through this, and kind of show you how we're getting going. But so we'll show you some of the basic obedience. And to be honest, I can't remember what all, if we've done much inside the building yet. I think this may be the first video we've done indoors. Come on, good boy. Sit. So of course we got to have a dog that knows how to sit. Good boy, good sit. And we got to be able to walk politely on a leash. All right, heel. Good. And this is all I'm sure you've done with him, because he is responding nicely. Come on, come on, come on. Good. Hank, heel. Good. Good boy. He seems to respond nicely to praise. Good. Heel. He also responds very well to pepperoni treats. Sit. Everybody loves the pepperonis, don't they? Yes, they do. Yes. Good. Good. Now, when we're doing formal obedience, it's important that we pay attention to the dog's his posture, meaning how is he responding to what we're doing. If we see him with his tail up and his head up, we know that he feels confident, he feels okay, he feels good. If we see him with his head down, with his tail down, certainly we don't want to see the tail tucked. We want to see him in a positive attitude. That means he's taking in the lesson. If he's afraid, or if he's distracted on the other side of the spectrum, we don't want those things. We want to make sure he's focused on me. Good. So we reward when he looks at me, and we see the tail wag. That tells me I'm with you, boss. All right. Good boy. Now, so we've got our basic three commands, which are heel. Good boy. Good heel. sit. Good. So heel and sit are our first two commands. Heel. Hank, heel. Hank, here. Heel, sit. Good boy. Good. So those three commands, here, heel, sit, are the start of this. Now, we're going to get a little bit weird with Hank, and this is going to be a little bit strange for him, but I wanted to show you the first time so that we have something to compare with here. Now, Hank's pretty lovey. He really is. I mean, for being a dominant alpha dog, he really is pretty sweetheart. You know, he really is. Yes, I know. I know. You're a sweetheart. Now, we're going to get a little bit weird, and I want to show you this on video for the first time that we do it so we have our comparison. Sit. We're going to do something here where I'm going to control a part of his body that he's not used to having controlled, and that is his mouth. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stick my hand in his mouth and leave it there until he quits resisting me. This is usually pretty entertaining. So he's probably going to flop around like a fish trying to get my hand out. I am not going to be pinching, squeezing, twisting, pulling, anything. I'm simply going to have my hand in his mouth until he stops fighting me. Here we go. Good boy. Give! And as soon as he stops fighting me, I use the command give, and I take my hand out of the mouth. So what we're trying to teach him now is when to let something come out of his mouth. Now, there are times that things are going to be in his mouth, and then we're going to know when we want to let him take it out of his mouth. Let's try it again. Give! And that has got to be like one of the fastest I've ever seen a dog go along with that move. That's a sign of very high intelligence. He definitely understands what we're doing here. Oh, we rub to ears. Rub my ears. Yes. Okay. All right. So let's add that all together now. So let's go Hank, here, heel, sit, heel, sit, give. Good boy. Good boy. And I'm really trying to mess with his face a lot so that he gets used to the idea of me playing with his face and his mouth. Over the next several weeks, we're going to learn to help Hank understand how I want him to control his mouth when it comes to holding a bird, not dropping a bird, letting it go when I tell him to. So this is the beginning, sort of the starting off point of him getting into a process we're going to call force fetch, which is where he's going to learn we're going to control his mouth completely. So all in all, I think that's a heck of a good start. I'm quite happy with that. So whenever we ask the dog to do some stuff at the beginning where I get a little bit weird and uncomfortable, we end on doing something fun. So if we're going to do something fun, we get out the bird here. So I've got a little blue-winged teal, a frozen teal. Woo, woo. Good boy, huh? Okay, there he goes. Right here. Good boy, Hank. Give. Good boy. All right, attaboy. Here. Give. Good boy. One more time. Right. Sit. Hank. All right. Good boy. Hey, right here. Right here. Come on. Nope, don't chew on it. Don't chew on it. Here. Come on. Hey, 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 hey. Come on. Come on. Come on. Gotta bring him here. Come on. Here. Here. Give. Good boy. Okay. So we try to end doing something fun, getting to play with a bird. I think Hank is off to a great start. We're going to keep building on this progress.